good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining me. So today I actually have some very good news to share with you guys, and it's probably one of the biggest moral victories that I've seen in a long time. Now, there's one state in this great country of ours that is just a little bit greater than the rest of them today, and that is the great state of Alabama. Now, Alabama had the moral fortitude to go ahead and put a law on the books that states it is illegal to commit the murder of any child, i.e. abortion, unless the mother's life is in imminent danger. And I'm going to tell you right now, I honestly don't agree with that whole facet of the bill. I don't think abortion should be an option, period, the end. Now, don't get me wrong. I have sympathy for a mother who's giving birth to her child and she has complications where she's going to die, okay? Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of sympathy there because she's bringing a life into this world while sacrificing her own. Now, that's a risk she knew she was going to take, is it not? The only time I think abortion should be a viable option is if the mother and the child are both going to die and the mother's life could be saved by terminating the pregnancy. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't happen all that often. However, I do believe that is the only case in which I would be able to make the argument that terminating that pregnancy is appropriate. But I would still feel torn up about it, and to be 100% honest with you, I don't know if I'd be able to make that call. Thank God I can't have a child. However, Alabama has stated that if you get pregnant and your life isn't in danger by giving birth, you're going to give birth to that child. And I completely agree with it. Now, there's going to be a lot of people out here that talk about, well, what about rape and what about incest, etc., etc. Why is it that we always point to the most obscure of circumstances when we're trying to advocate an immoral act? Everybody knows from the time they are born that it is immoral to murder another human being, okay? Now, everybody here that is listening to this benefited from the fact that their mother didn't commit murder, okay? It's very easy to see. That's why we are all here, is it not? Okay. Now, what I'm saying is, God forbid somebody gets raped, including my own daughter, which I don't have yet, but God willing, I will. If I were ever put in the circumstance where my daughter was raped, and for some unforeseeable probability, she conceived a child by that rapist. No, you're not going to kill my grandchild. For everything that is bad about how that birth came to be, that child still has a part of me in it. Regardless of whether or not it's my child, if it is my daughter's child, that is a creature that I helped bring into this world. That is a human being, a conscious living entity that I brought into this world. For all the bad, that's still a part of me, is it not? Still a part of my ancestry. It still has all of my historical DNA inside of it. Every lesson that I've ever learned exists inside of that creation. And I know I have a shit ton of potential. Okay? And God forbid that child could have saved the world, or let's not even say save the world, but could have influenced society to better everything around them from the time they were born till the time that they passed away, even if it was something as small as having empathy towards people, especially in this world, okay? I would not be able to live in good conscience knowing that I murdered that conscious being, okay? The mother already went through the trauma of conceiving that child because she was raped, okay? Now, there's a lot of people that are going to say that this woman will be put through so much more trauma having that baby. Right, that's a valid argument, okay? How much trauma is she going to go through if she has an abortion? Because I'm going to sit here and say it's equal to, if not more, than that of her going through the natural process of giving birth. Because birth is a natural process. It is something that the body was equipped to do. It is something that the female mind was equipped to handle. Okay? Granted, being raped wasn't, but having that child was. It is not human nature to abort a child. It's a very clear line. It's a very clear distinction. There is no way to argue the moral value of murder. I don't care who you are. Now, if you've noticed, the media has remained rather quiet when it comes to this topic, and there's a reason for it. It's because it shows a cultural shift that they don't want people to acknowledge. The simple fact is, my friends, America is starting to gain moral footing once again. It's happening slowly, but if a state like Alabama in the Bible Belt can finally get back to their moral roots and put a law like this on the books, we are moving in the right direction. It's only a matter of time before people realize that this is a movement that isn't going anywhere except straightforward at full steam ahead. I'm going to tell you right now that a lot of this walk away from the Democratic Party that you see with the black culture, the black youth of America, I've talked to a lot of these people, okay? And one common theme is they're all waking up to the fact that abortion has been demographically targeted towards the inner city, okay? And they're waking up to the fact that a disproportionate amount of murders, abortions that are being committed inside of this society is happening in the inner cities. They're waking up to the fact that the majority of Planned Parenthoods and abortion clinics aren't located in white suburbia. No. It's located in the inner cities next to housing projects and government developmental housing. This is a systemic program to destroy the family. Okay? And if you look at rap music, I'm telling you right now, it's tied. Because what did rap music do? Rap music drew white suburban children into wanting to replicate the inner city black culture, right? Because it's attractive, okay? And in turn, it demographically moves the destruction of the family from just the blacks to the society as a whole, targeting the white youth now, okay? And this all started with abortion, and it's moved into a drug epidemic, and it just keeps changing facets over and over again as they adapt it to suit their narrative. Because once you get away with committing abortions all over the place, and 25% of the black community inside of New York City, for example, is aborting their children, well then if that can go unnoticed and people will freaking not say anything about that, we can move on to the next task, the next tool in our toolbox, okay? And that would be, a drug epidemic. But what we're seeing is people putting a foot in the ground and saying, you shall not pass. In other words, you're no longer going to murder my children. And I give Alabama a lot of credit for taking the first step. Now the question is, where do we go from here? Because I'm telling you right now, this should be a very big issue in 2020. And I kind of want to stay away from the whole political red, white, blue party mentality. However, when I see a party standing on the moral footing of not killing their children, then I'm going to have to back it. It's just that plain and simple. So I hope that everybody wakes up with all the distractions from the Mueller report and Jeffrey Durham getting appointed to investigate the beginning of the Russian. This is all a distraction for the real issues that are going on, my friends. And when something as simple as we're no longer going to kill our babies becomes a hot button issue where people are saying, I'm going to stop having sex because you're not letting me kill my child. Like, this is the kind of logic we're dealing with, people. They're actually suggesting that they have a sex strike in order to get their reproductive rights back. However, if you look at the argument from our point of view, abstinence is the best way to avoid abortion. So why would we ever give an inch if the people who are having the abortion stop having sex? I say we win either way. We've already won, so why not give us that next win? That's all I have for you today, people. Abortion is now against the law, as it has been forever, regardless of what a pen and paper says. Thank you, Alabama, for finally getting back to the common law roots of America. I salute you. God bless you and your children, and have a nice day.